Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Rooted Podcast. You will notice that I am all alone today on this episode. Ben is under the weather. His voice is practically gone. I have talked to him on the phone for just a minute, and there is no way that he would be able to jump on. But nonetheless, I am here, and today, what I want to focus on is preparation. We have duck and deer season that has just ended up for the most of the country. Turkey season is right around the corner, my favorite time of the year. And then just next week is the NWTF show. So there's a lot going on, a lot of great things that are happening around us. So I really just want to talk about how I get prepared for that. And before I jump into that, though, of course, as always, we have a Bible verse to go over. This is Proverbs 16:3. It states, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans." So as long as you commit to the Lord, commit your life to Jesus, your plans will be established. And speaking of plans, I know everybody in life has some sort of plan, whether in business, whether in your family life, or in your turkey hunting life. And I have learned a few things over the years of turkey hunting, and I'm not going to pretend that I know everything, and there are no absolutes in the world of turkey hunting. However, there are some things that I feel translate throughout all of the turkey seasons. I'll tell you first is patience can be very, very crucial in the turkey woods. I mean, how many people do you know that have heard that gobbler and they just immediately take off almost with no plan, no preparation, no real figuring out where he truly is or trying to hear him? Which direction do you think he may be coming down? Or you just go. And you've seen those people get busted time and time again. I have been those people. I've done it. It's not so fun. So slow down, breathe for a second, okay? And realize that every season has lessons to be learned if you're willing to slow down and listen to them and learn from them. Okay? Because rushing your hunt can lead to getting busted, like I just said. You know, that's missed opportunities. That's rushing can get you into a bad setup to where you then maybe you can't get a shot off, or it's just not perfect and he picks you off and flies away. And what that can lead to a lot of times is just mental burnout. Is if you just go out all the time and you're rushing and you keep getting busted, or it just doesn't work out for whatever reason, you can get pretty down in the dumps. You could start second guessing your abilities and trying to understand what to do next. Whatever it seems like, whatever you're doing isn't working, and there's just no traction. And you're just going like, man, what do I have to do to kill this gobbler? You need to prepare. You need to have a plan. And I'm not saying it's going to go according to plan. I mean, there are plenty of times where you have an idea and the bird does something completely different. But you need to have an idea instead of just going for it. And over time, the more you learn and the more you hunt, you can kind of go a little faster. But when in doubt, man, just sit there, be still. The bird's coming. And if he gets hung up, okay, now we can start making a plan, to go after him. But there are definitely more hunts that get ruined by rushing than being patient. That much I can promise you. Because the hunts that I remember the most weren't the fastest ones. They were the quiet ones until the very end, where it didn't get so quiet. One moment of boom makes all the patience worth it. I promise you that. Because that preparation beats motivation every single time. Because I'm right here with you. It's beginning of turkey season. I'm fired up. Everybody gets fired up. Can't wait for that first gobble of the year. And I mean, your soul's just jumping. You just can't sit still, even if someone paid you to. And you are just so excited. I don't care if it's your first time or your millionth time. When a turkey gobbles and you don't get excited, something's wrong with you. And I hear you. I'm with you. But that preparation is going to beat that feeling and that moment of motivation in the long haul every time. So, preparation in turkey season. What does that look like? There's the obvious ones. There's scouting, of course. You need to know your land, ideally, before you go hunt it. Even if that's e-scouting, you're trying to look at a big, huge WMA, or a piece of public somewhere. You may not have the time or the resources to go out and scout it, all of it before the season starts. But having a idea, open up that HuntWise app, look at all the different types of maps and different layers that you can put on there and figure out what is where, and get an idea, right, of where turkeys may be, or maybe where they're roosting, or maybe you have a buddy who's hunted over there and you have a general idea, right? I don't know too many buddies who are giving out spots on the HuntWise app to me, but they may tell you, yeah, over in this area, I've seen some birds before. Sometimes that's all you need. So there's obviously the scouting part. And then you have your equipment, right? You need to get your stuff together, right? You need to sandpaper that pot call. You need to put chalk on the box call, wet your mouth call, get it going. Start clucking, start purring, start yelping, start practicing. And I know with the Turkey Federation show coming up, a lot of people get fired up, and they'll start breaking out the calls and practicing. Ideally, you're practicing all year long, but it's okay if you're not. But I would definitely break out those calls, start getting them out. Listen, I know the family may get a little upset at you. You're yelping in the living room. Guilty as charged. But it's important. Worst case, just go outside. I know right now it's February and it's cold. At least it's cold where I am. But if that's what you got to do, then do it. Practice your mouth call when you're driving to work and back. Do what you need to do to get prepared. So breaking out your calls is important. Looking at all your camo, making sure that, everything's just squared away. Is your turkey vest in good shape? I'm not saying you need pristine clothing and a turkey vest, but you're right. It needs to at least be wearable, So I know some of y'all out there got some stuff, and you act like you ain't got no money. You can't go down to the Walmart and buy new camo. I know you can. You're better than that. You don't need the fanciest, most expensive stuff. I know you can go out there and buy another $10 shirt. I know you can. And your turkey vest, let's jump on that for a second. Is it full? Meaning, does it have everything it needs? Of course, like the calls we just talked about. Do you have the extra shell or two in there? Because I promise you, I know, you're going to put 3 shells in your shotgun if you can. Maybe you're cool and you're a single shot 410 guy and you only need 1. I get it. You're better than everybody. I'm just telling you, don't be that guy who thinks you don't need the extra shell. You do. And hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully you don't. But put it in there. It's going to be okay. Your pride will be fine. Put it in there. Having that extra shell has saved me before. That's for certain. So again, hopefully you don't need it, but it's nice to have. So put the extra shell in your vest. Calls, you need stuff to condition your calls. Some calls maybe are built better or have different technology involved with them, but carry some extra chalk and, your sandpaper and, maybe your green brush pad or whatever it is that you like to have. I would bring that. Make sure your seat pad is nice. And I know that's a first world problem. You don't really need one, but it's one of those nice things. Just make sure it's nice. I do. I like a cushion when I'm sitting on the ground. Sue me. Okay? I promise, though, it's fine. It's going to be okay if you don't have one, but I'd recommend you get one. So just make sure that your vest has got everything in it that you would like. Of course, you can't miss the obvious and the most important thing in your vest: snacks and your chocolate milk. Now, don't put the chocolate milk in there just yet. Okay, you need to keep that in the fridge. Probably buy it a night or two before you go out. But make sure the pocket's ready. That box call pocket fits a beautiful 12-ounce chocolate milk right in there. Slips in, whoosh, and you're ready to go. Maybe you don't need to box call that day. It'll be fine. Something else that I like to have that sometimes people don't always think about. Two things: extra rubber bands, not 50, but 2 or 3. Put those around your box call, or even if you just have some stuff in your pocket, it's nice to just bundle it up and tighten it up so it's not clanking around. Something to think about. The other thing would be rain gear. I would have a rain pant and rain jacket, just a lightweight. Doesn't need to be anything wild and crazy. Put it in a Ziploc bag. Press it down as much as you can. Get it as compact and small as you can, and put that in the back of your vest. And hopefully, you won't get caught in a rainstorm. But if you turkey hunt long enough, it's going to happen. So it's nice to have that there, just in case you need it. So something to think about. So getting your vest ready, we talked about that. We talked about your calls. Now, your shotgun. Most people, right, are going to turkey hunt with a shotgun versus a bow. So let's just hone in on that for a second. You need to pattern your shotgun. I know this seems like common sense, but it's something people miss every single year. You have to pattern that shotgun because trust me, I've been there whenever you don't and you think it's fine and then it ain't fine. So take the extra time and just go pattern the shotgun. It's not going to be this big, long, drawn-out process, okay? You don't need to make it harder than it is. I mean, in a perfect world, you go buy 4 or 5 different shells and you practice, and that's great. You should do that, okay? But if you're like me, and like for me, I've shot anything from Winchester Longbeard XRs. I've shot the TSS. I've shot the Federals. They all shoot well out of my gun. So normally I'll just take what I've used before, right? Whether it's the Federals or the Winchesters or whatever you're going to use, whatever you have left over is what I would recommend. Not, you go buy what you want to buy, but I'm not trying to buy new boxes every single year if I don't have to. So if I have some left over, then I'll just run 1 or 2 through it, make sure I'm still patterned the way I like, and then you're good to go. So get your calls, condition those, practice with them. Make sure all your clothes and your vest are ready to go and packed up and everything that you need. Make sure you got your vest and your mask and your gloves, your hat, got everything ready to go, and pattern your shotgun. Those are some basic but very practical, tactical turkey hunting preparations that we could do. Okay. Some other things. We talked about scouting. When you're actually at the property, some things to consider, just like in deer hunting, your entry and your exit routes are still going to be very important. Now, of course, it's a little different because you're not just going to walk in and climb up a tree stand and wait for a turkey to get broadside. Okay. But you need to have an idea of different trails or paths, or maybe there's a little hill here that we can, or a little knoll or something, or where the ridge is where you can maybe hide behind to pop around the other side or something like that. Where that scouting comes into play and you're actually walking the property, getting that. So when you know that you hear a gobble, you can really know where he is. Oh my gosh, this ridge goes this way. I hear that bird over here. The best way is going to be to come around here, dip under this, walk on the dry creek, whatever the situation is. Knowing your land and knowing the entry and exit route, at least to the best of your ability, can really help you get that gobbler this spring. So really something to consider there. Your entry and your exit routes. I would say this too. If you are hunting on public land, obviously the pressure is what everyone talks about every single year because it's relevant. Obviously, those birds get hunted more. They get called at more. All the things, right? They just get hunted more. So then in turn, they're smarter. They're more educated. They know what you're trying to do for the most part. So when I'm hunting public land, I'm all about getting up early and going. And you may kill a bird that way on public. If you find one bird willing to play the game, right? That's all you need. I will tell you this though. I've had more success on public land at that 9 o'clock hour, hunt from 9 to noon, try and get one fired up. And of course, there's a lot of reasons for that. A couple are one, I'll say most hunters that hunt public land are gone by then. They've gone out bright and early, sat there for 2-3 hours, had one gobbling on the roost. He flew down, he shut up, and now he's not playing the game. And they get discouraged, right, with that mental kind of burnout we talked about earlier, and they leave. I get it. I've been there. But what you can do to separate yourself is to go in maybe a little later, that mid-morning, getting into the noon time, and find a lonely gobbler, find one that's breaking away from the hen and is just a lonely gobbler out there that maybe you can strike up, because maybe he doesn't get called too much in that hour, and you can slip up and kill one. Not saying it's an automatic, way easier thing, but it's not going to hurt you. And I'll tell you another thing about just turkey hunting in general. Obviously there's the preparation that we're talking about, but then there's the actual hunting part of it. Like, okay, you got all your stuff together, you know where you're going, yada yada, but now you're in it. So imagine that you're in the woods, you're in the middle of a hunt, birds gobbling. That is what you live for. Those moments. All the preparation boils down to this. And then he pops out, strutting, gobbling right in your face. And all your hard work is fixing to come down to this moment. And when that moment happens and you pull the trigger and he's flopping, and it's awesome. That feeling that you get from that, don't forget that. That's the whole point. We can get into tactics on calling and overcalling and shutting up and letting them work, and decoys or no decoys, or reaping's the worst thing in the world, and what type of camo pattern should you be wearing, and what kind of gun, and TSS is better, and all this. You can do all that. But I find success in the feelings of those moments. And that moment doesn't always have to be a field tag. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not going to tell you that I just love when I don't kill a turkey. I'm going turkey hunting to kill a turkey, okay? However, if killing is the only thing you're chasing, you're going to miss why we started. You're missing the whole point. And again, I'm with you. I want to kill a turkey too. I don't turkey hunt to go hiking. I'd be a hiker if I wanted to do that. But if killing's the only thing you're chasing, you're missing why we started. Enjoy the sunrises. Enjoy God's creation. Enjoy the fact that you are able to communicate with a wild animal. I don't think that gets talked about enough. That's crazy that there's a device out there that you can manipulate to sound like a wild creature who then responds back to you. That's insane. Enjoy that. Understand the moment that you're in and enjoy it. And when eventually, you do feel the tag, enjoy it, embrace it, be in the moment, have fun. Obviously, then you get to share that bird with family and friends, and there's just nothing better. I love some fried turkey nuggets. I'll tell you, Ben would tell you, man, if he was here, we have had a bunch of great meals, and some of the best is just freshly killed fried turkey nuggets. I mean, when that thing is in a field and then 2 hours later you're eating that bird, I mean, that's practically with anything and any type of food, but man, something about a fresh wild turkey. To me, I put it up there. It's some of the best wild game ever. I would have to say probably elk for me is first, but right after that's wild turkey. I would put it above deer taste-wise, not the amount of meat, obviously, or the versatility of it, but just pure enjoyment of tasting. Yeah. Wild turkey, for sure. And I will tell you this as well. Whenever you are out there in the woods, right, you need to really, it's a good time. I'll put it to you that way. When you're out there in the woods, it's a good time to just breathe, reflect, and just ask yourself a question, like, what did I learn today that can make me a better turkey hunter tomorrow? And what I have found is a lot of those lessons really can help you in any facet of life. Be again, patience. Patience can be anywhere, at work, at home. Trust me. If you ask my wife, I'm sure I could at times work on my patience. So I would tell yourself to do that too, to slow down, enjoy it. Cause where I'm going with this is I've seen so many people whenever they kill the bird and then it's just rushed. It's, they high five and maybe take a picture and it's like, okay. And they grab the bird and off to breasting it and to doing all the work. And, you need to do those things, but I would encourage you to take a moment and reflect and really just understand the magnitude of what happened. And I'm not saying you need 3 hours, but take an extra 3 minutes. Be there, be present in that moment, reflect, enjoy it. And I just think you'll find, in a weird way, you'll find some more peace with it. You will find more happiness. I have. Anyway, just something for you to ponder on as we're getting into this turkey season. The last thing that I'll tell you, of course, as I mentioned earlier, dude, turkey hunting is probably my favorite thing in the world. It's just awesome. I love it, dude. I love the early wake ups and the owl hooting and the turkey gobbling and the strutting and the spitting. And there's just nothing better. And to kick that all off every year, for me at least, is the National Wild Turkey Federation convention in Nashville, Tennessee at the Gaylord Opryland Convention Center. And this year is the 50th anniversary of, I think it's the convention, not of the Turkey Federation, if I'm remembering correctly. But man, it's so much fun. It's a 3-day event, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This year it's the 12th, 13th, and the 14th. So I don't care if you're near Nashville or you're way far away. You need to go. Hop on a plane, get in your car, whatever you got to do, get there. And I know what you're saying, but John, the 14th is Valentine's Day. Even better. More of a reason to go. Listen, you just need to tell her or him, if you're a girl here looking to go, whatever, you just need to tell your partner that we'll just go to the show for a few hours, right? I think it opens at like 9 a.m. You could stay till 2 or 3. And then go hit up Nashville and have a great Valentine's dinner and have fun and go down Broadway, do all the Nashville tourist things. And I'm telling you, it's such a fun time and it's such a great kickoff to my favorite time of the year. So I would encourage you to go, and everybody who somebody is at this show. You got Cuz Strickland, Tyler Jordan from Realtree, every company, the Bone Collector guys are going to be there. Seek One's going to be there. We're going to be there. I'm not at all putting us in the category with all those folks, but I will tell you that it's such a fun time. And Rooted Podcast / Rooted Television will be set up. We are booth 1956, the National Wild Turkey Federation show. So if you guys are coming, we would love for you to stop by and chat. We're going to have a couple just tiny little things to give away, nothing wild and crazy, but we're just going to be there to just to talk to y'all, hang out, chit chat, have fun, and kick off the greatest time of the year for me. And that's turkey season, baby. Man, there's just nothing better. Being in turkey camp, man, God, I just love it, dude. I just love it. And the other thing I really love about this whole season is I find myself, and I don't know, I think it may just be because I have been fortunate to kill, a decent amount of turkeys, and by no means am I an expert or the best turkey hunter. But what it does for me is it gives me this excitement to take new folks, and that could be a kid or it could be 50-something-year-old father-in-law. In my case. So anytime I've had the opportunity to introduce a new soul to my beautiful world of turkey hunting, the world I love, I will take that opportunity anytime I can get it. I mean, there's something about introducing folks to something you love and watching them love it. You know, when you take someone new, you can kind of see they're a little excited and they're a little unsure and they don't really know what's kind of going on here or there, and they're just like, what is this guy doing? What is this? There's a bird out there that puffs its feathers out, and like, okay. And I've noticed this, the more people I take out, is that first gobble, it just hooks them. They love it. So if you get a chance to take somebody, please do. And if that means you kill one less turkey, hey man, I would encourage you not to worry about that. Don't be that selfish. I'm all about you going and killing your bird or two, okay? But man, if you have the option to take somebody new, kid or adult, do it. And if that means you kill one less bird, that's okay. Do it. You won't regret that at all. I promise you. I promise you that. So I didn't want to get too deep involved in how-tos and how to scout and how to call or anything like that. I just wanted to tell you, to let you know that obviously turkey season's getting here. Don't let it sneak up on you. Have fun, enjoy it, get ready. It's the best time of the year. But don't be that guy patterning your gun and blowing the mouth call the Friday before opening day, okay? Just don't be that guy. I've been that guy before, and you just have a way higher success rate if you just prepare earlier, get your stuff together, okay, and have some fun. Again, prepare, get ready, and have fun. Enjoy this turkey season. I know I will. So, really quick before I end up here again, Rooted Podcast, Rooted Television will be at the NWTF show in Nashville, Tennessee, booth 1956, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's February 12th, 13th, and 14th. So we hope to see you there. If you see me walking around, please do not stop and hesitate. Just come on over and interrupt whatever I'm doing. I promise I want to talk to you if you want to talk to me. So again, thank you guys for listening, and get ready for turkey season. It's coming. See y'all.